who adds grandeur to Blenheim. We hold dear Churchill's jokes and remarks, though we probably wouldn't want to be the subject of such biting humor. We return to his speeches and measures our own principles against his decisions, aspiring to similar heights. Yet, it was not this that created his legend. It was his ability to be a steadfast barrier between history and cowardice. be brave regardless of threats and blackmail. Their joint efforts are needed for the sake of peace. When the aggressor loses, the world wins. This has happened repeatedly in human history. It must happen this time too to the Russia's aggression. Thank you very much. Thank you for every life saved by your support. Thank you for the invitation, Prime Minister. Slava Ukraini. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Volodymyr. I would now like to invite the President of the Swiss Confederation, Viola, to address the plenary.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is an honor for me to address you all at this fourth gathering of the European political community. Switzerland values the EPC as a space for Europe defined by geography and based on a common idea of what is Europe. The EPC is valuable as a platform to have open, inclusive and frank discussions about the challenges we face. These challenges are of unprecedented complexity. We need to address them together as Europeans. I thank Prime Minister Starmer for the kind invitation to share my impressions of the Summit on Peace in Ukraine that Switzerland hosted a month ago. With the summit, we aimed to address the most pressing challenge our continent faces. Looking back, I believe it is fair to say that we achieved what we had aspired for. For the first time, voices from all corners of the globe came together at the highest level to talk about how to achieve a just and lasting peace in Ukraine. The Bürgenstock Summit represents the only initiative that enjoys broad support across all continents. More than 100 countries and international organizations joined the discussions. This global support is essential in order to take substantial steps towards a just and lasting peace. Other peace plans don't enjoy the same kind of endorsement. One reason may be that the UN Charter as the central foundation for a future peace is missing in some of those plans. Thanks to this broad support and the concrete propositions we discussed in Switzerland, we managed to lay the foundations for the path towards a potential peace process. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank all of you for your tireless efforts to mobilize for the summit and for your active contributions prior to and during the conference. Your support played a central role in building this foundation and the momentum the summit was able to generate. I thank the UK, the EU, and in particular the staff of the Council Presidency, the Commission and the External Action Service, and also countless others who are present here today for the excellent cooperation. Despite the different points of view that were shared on the Bürgenstock, we managed to agree on a common vision. This vision is summed up in the Bürgenstock communiqué, which has been signed by 87 countries so far. Additional countries continue to sign the communiqué, even some of which were not present at the summit. This text can provide a basis on which further discussions can take place. With the summit, we managed to take a first step on the challenging path ahead towards a peace process. We are currently discussing with Ukraine and key partners what the next steps could look like. And we are working to use and sustain the momentum to elaborate such concrete steps, including on the issues identified in the Bürgenstock communiqué. Firstly, any use of nuclear energy and nuclear installations must be safe, secured, safeguarded, and environmentally sound. Secondly, food security must not be weaponized in any way. Attacks on merchant ships and ports and along the entire route, as well as against civilian ports and civilian port infrastructures, are unacceptable. Thirdly, all prisoners of war must be released. All deported and unlawfully displaced Ukrainian children and all other Ukrainian civilians who were unlawfully detained must be returned to Ukraine. What is already clear is that the active engagement and support of our European friends, be they the EU, its member states, or our other European partners here today, remain crucial. Switzerland welcomes the follow-up conferences on the 3 issues that President Zelenskyy just announced. This is exactly what we had worked and hoped for. Switzerland is ready to continue to play an active role in this process. We will particularly focus on strengthening the bridges that we have been able to build to the Global South and China. We have been getting very positive feedbacks on the summit, even from colleagues in the Global South who have so far refrained from signing the Bürgenstock communiqué. It is now essential to reach out to them, take their concerns into account, and motivate them to join the Bürgenstock communiqué. I count on your support in this outreach endeavor, and I very much look forward to continuing our close cooperation with all of you, including with Ukraine, as European partners standing together in solidarity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Viola. I'd now like to invite the Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette, to address the plenary. The floor is yours.
First of all, thank you, Keir, for your hospitality today, and I commend you for making Russia's invasion of Ukraine and its wider implications for all of us the focus of this plenary session. I don't believe Russia sees its attempts at grabbing Ukraine's territory as the final step, rather as just one step on the way to realizing its imperial dreams and ambitions. We cannot allow Putin to redraw the borders of a sovereign country by force, not in Ukraine and not anywhere else on the globe. After the invasion of Crimea in 2014, we tried as Europeans to reason with Russia, to negotiate with Russia, based on the hope that Russia would respect the rules that we play by. But they did not respect the agreements made. Our common strategy of negotiating on their terms did not work. Russia was not to be trusted then, and Russia is not to be trusted now. And so, appeasement did not work then, as appeasement will not work now. And this brings us to a very decisive moment for Europe. Supporting Ukraine against Russia's war of aggression is about our collective security and values. It is the challenge of our time. We have said for 2.5 years now that we cannot let Ukraine lose. I think we need to be open about the facts here. In order for Ukraine not to lose, Ukraine needs to win this war. There is only one winner in the gray zones, and that will be Russia. If anything, that should be our collective learning from Russia's land grab in 2014 and the following negotiations in the Normandy format. Peacetime processes are too slow for wartime tasks, and there has been too much hesitation. Even though I'm also very proud of all of us being united for such a long time, I still think there has been too much hesitation. But we still have time to make the right decisions and take the right actions. And therefore, first of all, I think we have to support Ukraine in its peace process. And there can be no discussions about Ukraine without Ukraine. As William Allen White once said, peace without justice is tyranny. But a just peace is not a possibility when only one side is engaging in honest. Russia could end this war today. It could just pull out its troops and peace would be instant. And we must not be naive about the broader picture either. I think we have to be very aware of the confluence of interests between Russia, North Korea, and Iran, and yes, unfortunately, also China. If we allow, as Europeans, if we allow Russia to be rewarded of its aggression, of its murdering thousands of people, we create a new problematic incentive for other land grabs worldwide. Secondly, we must deliver the necessary military support for Ukraine, and I think we have to scale up our own military capabilities. To use your own words the other day, compassion is not a weapon. It will not protect Ukraine. It will not protect the kids of Ukraine. Only our common actions will. The decisions we made at NATO summit last week were, I think, important. They built the necessary bridge to Ukraine's future membership of NATO. And this includes bilateral security commitments that have been concluded since the NATO summit in Vilnius. Seen together, I think they provide certainty and a long-term perspective for the flow of support. But my main message today is that Ukraine, and thereby Europe's future, is decided right now. We need to secure all necessary deliveries to Ukraine urgently. Ukraine needs air defense, ammunition, more heavy weapons to push Russia outside Ukraine's territory and to put an end to Russia's relentless attacks. I think we have been talking too much about defending Ukraine. Now it's time to push Russia back. Seeing as today we find ourselves in the birthplace of Churchill, I will use a befitting quote from him. It is not enough that we do our best. Sometimes we have to do what's required. And in doing so, I think we need to think creatively. On the Danish side, we have worked very hard to support production of military equipment directly, internally in Ukraine. You know best what is needed at the battlefield. The equipment, to be honest with you, dear colleagues, can often be produced cheaper and more effectively in Ukraine. So by joining forces and pooling resources, we can ensure that the flow of the needed military equipment corresponds to the needs of Ukraine. Another example is, of course, the Czech initiative. We hope to deliver almost 500,000 artillery shells before the end of this war. This year. But we all know around this table that there are more available ammunition stocks that could be released to be used in Ukraine. I think all of us has to spend substantially more on our national defense. We have to find new ways inside the European Union to ensure this. And all of us have to invest substantially more in our defense industry, and we need to do it now. And we have to stop going about this task in front of us with a peacetime mindset, not in Ukraine, but the rest of us. As the old Roman saying, if you want peace, prepare for war. Finally, and let me end by this, with some few words on closer European cooperation, because this dimension also plays a crucial role in fostering greater European security. It goes for Europe and for Ukraine, and it goes for all participants at this meeting. Just one example, we cannot overstate the importance of the European Union accession negotiations started with Ukraine and Moldova. I would like to congratulate both you, Volodymyr, and Maya, for the great achievement you have already made. Thank you, Keir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mette, and I look forward to building on those powerful words that we've heard from all our speakers this morning. Now we move to the family photo. You should have received an envelope which tells you your position. I think there is also
Yes, I can share with you. You are welcome. You got them? You can pay me in vodka from that. Send it back. Envahit l'Europe. C'est comme au Monopoly. Hein. Tu mets un pied sur ma place, Monopoly, bam. Attends, je vais te faire une petite maison, un hôtel dessus. Hier, je suis entré totalement en loupe avec ce Monopoly sur le téléphone. Quand on fait tous ces voyages, tu joues à ça? Bah, je joue à ça fait 7 ans que je change de jeu. Mais là, maintenant, je suis sur Monopoly. Et il y avait un connard. Il n'arrêtait pas d'aller sur le truc avec prendre des questions. Comment ça s'appelle en fait? Chance en fait. Toujours là, au milieu. Et moi et lui qui étaient restés dans le jeu. Non, ça a rien. Quand tu peux jouer en jeu. C'est gratuit. Plutôt que jouer solitaire ou Scrabble. J'ai eu ça. J'ai marqué mon histoire.
Take it back to the Delicate Lounge and then you can have a bit of a fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we're finished, please wait. We'll escort you back that way, please. Okay? Bats come out. Oh, okay. From the main door. Thank you. That's been off to so if there's any head sensitivity that could be made, you don't think to have that posted on.
Yeah, but I don't know if you see there are stickers, there are people all over the stickers. Yeah, well, we'll do it later. Where is the guy?
You got a good spot? Good spot? They come out from the main door.
I probably can coordinate.
A me non succede mai in Belgio,
Okay, guys, we're
sono più
ready.
abituato. Sono l'italiano più bianco del mondo. And after this, nothing. Bilateral. There's nothing more, no? Hours, of course, yes.
Do you know the way they're coming down?
This morning,
Somebody from camera. Somebody from camera.
I was sent one. So that's they did such a
fire alarm, I see you fire alarm, but I was on the rush hour and it starts going and I thought, fuck my phone is loud this morning. You know when you leave one more alarm just to be sure and you forget about it and you're under the shower and it's like, that's too loud for my alarm. And I go out and then you start doing it. This is not an exercise, this is a real fire emergency. Please leave
one by one.
Chinese tourists yelling in the stairs.
One
Everybody,
hand on
like
the-
so many customers in the bathroom outside.
Il y a un mec avec une belle lumière.
Il était se met devant.
Sorry. Sir. Sir.
So we want the entrance of the between the middle of the Ah oui, c'est ça. Sinon, il n'y a pas de goût.
Very small. Very small.
Neden yani?
They could do it.
Congratulations to the couple guys. They really needed these.
Matt, are we getting taken back to the media centre?
Matt?
Still live. He finished. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Ya. Ben sana şunu vereyim. Kamerayla beraber. Bakmaya devam mı? Hangisi? 56. Merhaba. You okay? Merhaba abi. Ya Türk olduğunu anladım zaten de. Merhaba. İyi bak. İyisin. Good. Şeyden mi? Anadolu Ajansı. Sen şeyden mi? Cumhurbaşkanı. I know. Aynen. Emniyet. Burada mısın normalde o şeyden mi? Bakı'dan mı? Oğuz, sen kapışıldık. Sen içeri mi giriyorsun? Yok. Medya var. Olur. Olur. Ben nereden bulacağım onu? Tamam. Tamam, ben veririm.